Today's show is sponsored by Tweezy. So Alan, if you want to do some upkeep between eyebrow threading sessions or your next trip to the chiropodist, having a reliable set of beauty implements in your medicine cabinet comes in handy.
I've not been one for plucking my eyebrows, Mark, but as I've got older, I've noticed those nostril hairs and toenails are getting harder to deal with.
Yeah, me too. It sounds like you need Tweezy beauty implements. They're surgically engineered, perfectly balanced and sharpened, and made from surgical-grade stainless steel.
All I need now is a lifetime warranty.
Well, now you mention it, Alan. Not only are they unparalleled in quality, they also come with a lifetime warranty. Seriously? As long as you've not lost or abused them, fill in the warranty form when you purchase your Tweezy surgically engineered tweezers and they'll be replaced for free.
To order your Tweezy surgically engineered beauty implements, go to tweez-er.com and enter the promo code Expats10 at checkout and receive 10% off your order.
Our next guest is fresh off the boat, so to speak. Her and her family left the UK in November. They've experienced COVID firsthand in the UK and had the pleasure of 2 weeks quarantine here in Oz, probably the most costly 2 weeks hotel stay they've ever spent in their entire life. And they got let out just before Christmas. So just welcome Kerrie McCormack.
Welcome, Kerrie.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thanks very much for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
We've been waiting a bit of time, actually, because Mark and I just weren't quite sure about the audio and how it'd go. So hopefully Skype will be friendly to us, and we'll be fine. We're used to sort of sitting face to face to our guests, so this looks really good, though. Isn't it?
Because normally we've got like complete control over the audio, but when you've got like the internet in between, sometimes it can make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Could happen. So Mark said you got here before Christmas and stuff. How long did you take before that to come, Kerrie?
Well, we actually applied through my husband's work to come in 2017, and we were due to come October 2019, so that was our date we were working towards. But as part of the medical, my husband had a car accident when he was maybe 19 years old, and he's got metal throughout his body and his hip, his feet, and his new employment wanted confirmation that this metal wasn't going to need to come out. So we had to chase a retired surgeon out of retirement, basically, to sign a letter to say that he could do the job. And sadly, that pushed us slightly too far to the right, which meant that we were then looking at October 2020, which at the time was, sad because we were pushing it back a year, but actually it gave us more time with family and friends, and we thought, we'd have all these, amazing trips away with family and holidays, etc. Little did we know COVID was around the corner, and 2020 was going to be quite a stressful year to emigrate, especially, not only emigrating and getting here, but actually in terms of saying goodbye to family and friends. We had parties cancelled, we had family we just couldn't see, we were saying goodbye, socially distanced. It was quite difficult in the end, actually. So not a great year. Sad we didn't go 2019, but
that must have been really tough, because you're thinking you've got all this time to say goodbye, and then with what happened, you couldn't actually speak or say goodbye to anyone face to face.
No, so my husband's mum actually threw us a party with her side of the family in September, and that was when the rules, I think it was 25 to a garden in an outside space, and I think there was 21 of us, and that was a Saturday, and the Monday the rules changed to 6, and my family's party was the following weekend. So we got to see one side of the family, but sadly my family, parties cancelled, and there were some cousins that I just didn't get to see, so and I don't know when the next time I will see them, because obviously getting home isn't looking too promising at the moment.
That's going to be the next thing, isn't it? Trying to get back and stuff. And if you do get back, you have to stay for X amount of months, and you have to prove there's a reason for it, and then you have to quarantine again if you came back. Kerrie, you don't want to start that nonsense again.
Yeah, and I don't fancy that again. That was with a 5-year-old for us, so certainly don't fancy that again.
That must have been tough.
Yeah, that must have been. So you only got how many kids have you got then, Kerrie?
Just the one.
Just
Dexter.
the one, okay, yeah. So yeah. I was thinking you had 2 actually for some reason. I must be thinking of somebody else. So Dexter, that's a cool name.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to ask, is that from the TV show?
No, but when we were pregnant, I remember my brother-in-law coming around and saying, "Oh, you've got to watch this show, Dexter." And I just looked at my husband with daggers. Oh my God, you're kidding me, because we'd never heard of it, and we'd already picked the name. But
it's such a good name.
Yeah,
it's a good show though. So
I never watched it, but I hear he's a good guy, right? He does bad things, but he's good.
He's a bad guy. Does good things. Yeah,
I've not seen it.
I never watched all of it, but I probably should have, actually, because it's like, fantastic show by all accounts. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's a nice name. Dexter's a cool name. So
thank you.
It's another thing for Netflix. That's what it is.
It's another thing for it's like 8 seasons or something as well. Keep me busy for a while, Mark. That one.
Yeah.
In between podcasts, mate. Don't know where you're going to find the time for all these things. No time for TV. You don't like you've had much time for TV since you got here anyway, Kerrie. Your Instagram pictures look like you've been on a holiday since you came out of quarantine, so that looks pretty good.
I know. I think we have finally settled down a little bit into that. We actually live here. We need to, spend weekends locally. But yeah, we've just arrived, and there's so much to see, and we're so excited to get here that we have been keeping ourselves busy. But there's so much to see in our local area. I think we'll be staying a little bit more local from now on.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you in Queensland anyway?
We're in Toowoomba, so we're about an hour and a half from Brisbane.
I got offered a job in Toowoomba. I had to go and look up. I thought that's the strangest name. I got offered a job in I can't remember. It was a mine site somewhere. But yeah, it was Toowoomba. I thought that's a fantastic name. But I looked, I thought that's quite in the middle of nowhere. I wasn't quite as brave as you.
Well, we're an hour and a half from Brisbane, 2 hours from the Gold Coast, 3 from the Sunshine Coast. So we're quite happy to jump in the car and go off and do stuff. But when we first got told it's Toowoomba, we were told it's going to be a really sleepy little place, not much to do, and we figured we'll just take it because we were so keen to get here and get started, and we'd work it out as we went along. But actually, there's so much around. The school's great, the people are great. We're really happy here. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, for sure.
Yeah, it looks good. I have to say, I did quite a bit of research on it as well. We kind of decided WA was better suited to us, to be honest. But yeah, Toowoomba did look like, because everybody said, it's a small town. It's I think he called it like a country town or something, but it's still a fair size, And it did look like looks like a nice place. So that's good. You said you've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, we are. Definitely.
It's put fingers as well. Not to put a dampener on it, but it's probably feeling a little bit good as well, and probably better than it may be, just because you've been in quarantine for 12 months, and it's like you've been let out. It's like anything's got to be. It's got to be a good feeling, just being able to be a free person, pretty much.
Oh, exactly. And we're obviously speaking with family and friends at home, and just the lifestyle they're leading at the moment. We feel very, very blessed and grateful to be here and not at home, not having to. The thing we're finding quite difficult is that we're missing family and friends, of course, like I'm sure you guys experienced when you first got here. And the reality is, even if we were at home, we wouldn't be seeing them anyway. So, it's my sister's 30th birthday tomorrow, and I'm gutted I can't be there to celebrate with her, but she's not celebrating anyway because she's not allowed. It's really sad. So, we're very, very grateful to not be in the UK right now.
Yeah, no, it's certainly not the place to be. I wouldn't. I mean, I've never wanted to go back. I've been back a couple of times straight to Mark, but I've got zero interest in going back at all. And I was here 2 weeks, and I had already decided I wasn't going to go back in a hurry. And unfortunately, I've had to go back once or twice for different things. But yeah, this is the place to be. Australia we're so lucky just now, especially with the COVID.
You do feel pretty blessed, don't you, being here, because they've kind of controlled it so well. And they're getting a lot of criticism from some countries. Like, I was listening to a podcast just yesterday, this guy in America, and he was slagging off Canada and slagging off Australia because it's like a state which is kind of controlling. Yeah. But look how much freedom we've got now.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, we had a week's lockdown there, and then we're all back to... We had 1 week of lockdown, then 1 week of wearing a mask, and now we're all back. I mean, Mark and I wouldn't be allowed to sit next to each other 2 weeks ago. We had to be a metre and a half apart. In fact, we wouldn't even be able to share the room. That's why we kind of stopped for a couple of weeks here. But yeah, we're so lucky. And when you see friends and family back home, and it's taking its toll now as well. You can really, I've noticed some of my more upbeat friends, they're getting beaten down a little bit with it as well, and they're difficult, especially I think most of them are noticing more with the kids actually. That seems to be the general feel, is the kids might well be doing okay, Kerrie, but the parents are worried about the kids. That's what I see.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Missing friends, not at school. It's a really difficult time for them all. And the UK, the way they're handling it is, just recently they've introduced if you're coming from overseas, you need to quarantine. But I was just speaking to my best friend about it, and there's no one actually policing that, which we find quite hard to take in, especially with our experience of arriving here. I mean, it sounds pretty drastic, but we were met by police officers off a flight, put onto a bus, put into a hotel room and not given a key. And it sounds drastic, but it works. And, it was a hard 2 weeks and it was difficult. But the upside of it is we get to live a life like this on the other side. So, as hard as it was, I'd do that 2 weeks over again, because, to live like this, and for our son to have the freedom and, go to school and attend his swimming lessons, it's just stuff that he wouldn't be doing in the UK right now.
How's Dexter adapted so far then? Is he sort of, he's still 5, so he'll not be missing too many friends and things like that, but he must be missing grands and grandpas and family and stuff.
Yes, yeah, grandparents and his cousins, we hear quite a lot, and he does really miss them. But we've said to him a few times, do you want to go back to England? And the answer is always no. He's really happy here. He loves the sunshine, loves being outdoors a lot. Yeah, he's so happy, and he really loves his school and making new friends. So he's really settled really well. Yeah,
I think they're pretty resilient, aren't they, the kids? Yeah. They're like Mia were like a duck to water. She arrived within 2 weeks. She'd made friends, and there's no way on earth she wants to go back. She doesn't even want to go back now to see family. That's how much she loves it here.
Our three are pretty much the same actually. They'd go back to see family, I suppose, but they've got no interest in being there. I mean, our youngest, she's 10 now. She's only a year when she got here, and so she doesn't really know any better. But she's got, I've said it a few times already, but Skype and things like that. She's like super friendly with her granny. They're the best of friends. I mean, incredible. And they've hardly seen each other really. So Dexter can do all that if he just need to have imagination really. And it's. Say the boys particularly, they learned to read on Skype with their gran, so they were along the bottom of a set of books, and they had another set, and we just read a page each. So I mean, Dexter can get all his bedtime stories, and it might be a slightly different way. You'll be 10 hours for the UK. Yeah,
your time difference is a bit tougher, isn't it?
Yeah, we're 10 hours from the UK, so you guys must be 8, is that right?
Our bedtime stories were like 12 in the day. Lorna's mum and dad would sit and have a coffee and read bedtime stories to their kids at 8 o'clock, so your parents need to be like 10 in the morning having their morning it could still work as long as they're not working. If they're retired, it makes it much easier.
Especially in lockdown, they're at home.
Yeah, perfect, yeah.
Probably enjoyed it. It's something for them to do as well, isn't it?
Look, it's a good idea to get started that early. We've spoken to a few people, and they never really started that Skype and the communication as early. And then what they found was, and I found this with my own side of my family as well, was the conversation would be, how's work, how's the weather, how's the kids, kind of thing. Where, other side, if another friends have been, if you just chat normally, it's just a conversation. So get Dexter on early.
Yeah. He's been showing his Harry Potter Lego to anyone that phones. He's been taking the phone off me, and off he goes to show them all. So he's getting the hang of it. His grandfather lives in Florida, Scott's dad.
Oh yeah.
To a grandparent overseas anyway. But obviously now it is everyone for him. So yeah, he's getting the hang of it. He's the only person that I can speak to in the day. we can see everyone else is asleep in the UK. Yeah, so it's completely opposite.
Yeah, that's handy though. It's always handy to have somebody in contact, I like it. Going back, my aunt's in her 80s, or one of them anyway, and sometimes she's up in the middle of the night, and I say, look, you don't need to be on your own in the house in the middle of the night, just give me a call. It's great. And it's worked quite a few times. She's been up and had something wrong or whatever, and just been able to give us a call and have somebody to speak to, during the day, rather than wake your other elderly brother and sister up, kind of thing. So it's got its advantages.
Absolutely. My little sister has just had coronavirus, bless her. So, in fact, my whole family pretty much got tipped down with it. So, I'd get her phone calls at midday my time. I think, what are you doing up? And yeah, she was sick, wasn't able to sleep. And it was nice, everyone else, the whole house was asleep, and she got to call me and have someone to chat to and have some company. So time difference worked.
That's great. I mean, it's good, especially when you're ill and stuff like that as well, being able to speak to somebody, that can give you a bit of sympathy, a bit of
Absolutely,
empathy.
yeah.
Have they got over it now, or have they still got it?
Yes, all over it. My little sister Alice she's the last one to have had it, so she's still she's still not at work, but she's over the worst. So I think she's sleeping and eating a bit more. Thankfully, none of them were serious. None of them were hospital. It was all dealt with at home. But yeah, it's just the reality of the UK at the moment. I feel like the first time round I knew no one, and this time round I feel like everyone's got it. It's awful.
I've still not, thankfully, touch wood, not came across any of our friends and family that's had it. So I'm very grateful. Where I've got two aunts that live in a particular part of Scotland, and that's like central COVID at the minute, but apparently most of it's in some kind of, there's like a local jail there somewhere. I think most of them are in that.
Send them in there.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's where the numbers came from. I was reading it today. I thought there's like 94 in Breath Valley, and Breath Valley is a tiny little area, really. I thought that's huge in West Lothian. But then I was reading further, and it's actually the vast majority seem to be in this prison, which is in Adderwell, which is it's a good distance away, but it's a very small prison. But they must be, I think they've all got it, by the looks of things. So it's
I think once it gets into a unit of the house, or if it's a care home or whatever, it just goes rife then, doesn't it? Everyone gets it.
Yeah, that's it. It just spread through my family.
Yeah, well, one of my brothers had it, and his wife got it, but they got it off the mother and the father-in-law, and it's same again. The whole family ended up just getting it. No one were really ill, like severely ill from it. It was just like, to be honest, my brother said he's had like flu once, and he said it weren't actually as bad as flu what he felt, but I think it's just the elderly that have got to be careful, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Thankfully, no one saw my nan.
Yeah,
she was
keep away from nan.
Yeah, keep away from nanny.
So how are you coping with the heat and stuff then? Queensland's a bit different from Perth again. Yeah,
it's a bit humid up there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Toowoomba's quite high up, so it's a little bit cooler here. But if we head down to the coast, where we've been in Queensland or Sunshine Coast, we've definitely felt the heat. But to be honest, I've acclimatised quite quickly. I think it was 21 the other morning, and I was offering Dexter a jumper, and do you want to wear your trousers?
You do start feeling. What am I doing? Yeah, you start feeling like what's going on. Like you're saying, it's cold, and at home you'd be like sunbathing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think we've acclimatised pretty quickly. Actually, I get quite annoyed if it's below 25.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Yeah, it does. You do acclimatise very quickly, don't you?
Yeah.
I remember first year we were here thinking, it was getting. Well, the first year we were here was like 40 degrees actually. Christmas was really warm, and then after that it dropped quite dramatically, probably only into high 30s or high 20s, sorry, and we're still feeling the cold. Yeah. It's funny.
It's the houses though, isn't it? The houses are freezing, especially in like winter time in the evenings. I mean, well, you've not got there yet. You're still in summer.
No,
you don't get that in Queensland. It'll still be warm in Queensland. Well, Toowoomba might be slightly different, but I would imagine it's not going to drop down too much in Queensland.
Had you ever been to Australia before?
No, and actually I was listening to your podcast, and I heard you guys say you'd never been.
No, yeah.
And that's exactly the same. And quite a few people I've spoken to, the one couple we know that live in Sydney that we knew through Scott's job, actually, they'd never been to Australia. I think it's quite a common thing.
It is.
It seems to be, yeah. I've said to Mark, I only know a couple of people who have been and then they've moved back. The only two people that I did know that came here, they moved back, so everybody else is like us.
It does seem pretty mental, really, doesn't it? Like you moved to the other side of the world. You said goodbye to your friends, your family, and your job to somewhere where you've never been before, and you're just putting your faith in what you've read and what you've heard about the country.
Absolutely, yeah. I think for our family and friends at home, I think it's what worried them the most, really, is that they didn't know that we would be happy here because we couldn't be entirely sure because we'd never been.
Yeah, so. Well, that's right, exactly, yeah. I think it's one of the things that, you know, you're worried about the family, they're worried about you, and, you know, it gets difficult quite quickly. You know, there's a lot of people sort of struggle with taking the grandkids away from gran and grandpa and things as well, and that's it's a very selfish thing to do, but, you know, you've got to do what's right for your family, you know, and it certainly was tough for us. That was one of the hardest things.
Oh, definitely. I think when the day we found out we were coming, I told my parents that evening, and I'd always promised myself I would do it as soon as it was confirmed and we'd signed a contract. And even though we knew at least 18 months before that we were going through the process, the interviews, all the paperwork, etc., I didn't mention a word of it to my parents because I was so worried about upsetting them for no reason. So we signed the contract in the middle of the night, one night, and then the next day told my parents, and I actually threw up in their bathroom the night before telling them because I was so nervous. And they were nothing but supportive, but obviously it's quite hard on them. Dex is the oldest grandchild, very close to them. They looked after him quite a lot when I was at work, so yeah, it was a huge pull for them.
That was almost the same. So my mother and father-in-law were the same with our oldest boy. They spent a lot of time with him, and leaving them was much harder than my own mum when they looked after him so much committed, and they were the same as yours, very, very supportive and stuff, and they had more to lose than anybody else really, and couldn't have been any more supportive. It was quite incredible.
Yeah.
Same with Karina's mum and dad. Like Karina's mum and dad, they've looked after me so much when she were younger, and we lived really close to them. So her mum were always coming round. She would always going. They had sleepovers once a week.
Nice.
And like now, it's because we've two come away, and it's funny because it's a bit bittersweet, isn't it? Because they're telling you, they're wishing you all the luck in the world, and they're telling you everything you want to wear, but you know deep down they don't want you going. But they'll not say that to your face because they want you to have a better life.
But that's your job as parents, isn't it? I mean, that's your job. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's my job. My job is to look after my kids and make sure they have a better life than I did, which sounds ridiculous. I had a great upbringing, I have to say, but
that's what you strive for, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to improve, and I'm sure Dexter will appreciate being here as well. And you know, so. Are you guys permanent residents?
We are. We're permanent citizens, and my husband's actually, as we speak, I believe, applying for his citizenship. So through his job, he can become a citizen, which I think Dexter gets immediately with him. Sadly, I have to wait a year, so you better not divorce me in that time. And
So you're getting it really quick then as well, aren't you? Like we had I mean, permanent residency is as good as being a citizen anyway. Yeah, but
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least if you're a citizen, then you can get your Australian passport then.
That's it. Yeah, no big queues going home.
Yeah, that's it. It's good for the kids as well. That was one of our goals coming here. We thought, weren't sure if we're going to stick it out or whatever, but our goal was we'd try and get citizenship at least for the kids, and if we hated it, we'd really try our best to stick it out. And I mean, to be honest, that's never happened. We've loved it since we got here, but the kids are all citizens. Well, we're all citizens now, so it's
hard though, because it's hard to not love it. When you come here, you can't really pick much about it. I mean, it's not as bustling as the UK, but I think when you've got a family, you kind of your perspective changes a little bit anyway, because you're family focused, so you want all them family kind of values set up anyway.
So what made you pick Australia? Was it a sort of job thing that just came up, Kerrie, or did you say let's go to Australia and then try and look the job into that, or?
Well, actually, my husband applied for a job in Florida, which was only ever going to be temporary, that particular role. It would always mean going home within 18 months to 2 years. And his stepdad and his mum and stepmum lived out there. So it would have just been ideal. We were really quite excited for it. Dexter was young and it fell through, and we were just having a particularly bad day. And I remember him saying how upset he was about America and how it fell through, and just saying, there's always opportunities in Australia, but I know you wouldn't go that far. And I just can't remember saying to him, you've never asked me to go that far. And then we just got talking about it, and middle of winter in UK, so it was easy to picture, beaches, bright blue skies. I think from that point on, I kind of pestered him to start the application and start moving with it, and I was probably the driving force behind it for him, because I just wanted, I think, like you were saying, when you've got a kid, you just want so much more for them. with Dexter would say, "Can I go in the garden?" You can't, it's raining. "Can I go in the garden now?" "Well, no, because it was raining and it's wet outside." And, it's just quite miserable at times. I love the UK, and I can't wait to go back and visit, but I'm much happier living here.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, that's especially after not been here too long either, Kerrie. That's good to be so happy so quickly as well. It's because I mean, a lot of people just struggle right for day one, and others take to like duck to water kind of thing. I fully expected not to really want to be here, to be honest. When I got here, I've always been a kind of homebody, and I was purely chasing the sunshine. So I thought, I'm only coming for the sunshine. Everyone else it's going to be nothing like home, and it'll be terrible, and I never really focused on that, but in the back of my mind I knew that was how I really feel in general about life. And I got here and I just forgot all about that. 2 weeks in I thought, I think I should be born in this country. and my wife was pretty much the same, other than missing her mum and dad. That was a big draw. Her papa was still alive then as well, so she really missed family side things. But friends and stuff, it was so much easier to keep in touch with them. And but by then we had all our friends had kids anyway, so you weren't seeing them every weekend and stuff. You'd be speaking to them on the phone or text them and things, so that wasn't as much a drama. But the family was a big one.
Yeah, the way we've sold it to Dexter is that at home he'd go to his grandparents maybe once a week, and he'd have a great time, and I would go and I'd have a cup of tea with my mum and dad. But I don't have many pictures of Dexter and my mum and dad, because you don't think to get a camera out when they're when you're just at their house having a cup of tea. But now when I look at the difference between going to Florida and visiting Scott's dad, we've got thousands of photos of them together, because it's a holiday, and rather than just an afternoon with him, we spend 2 full weeks with him. We do nice things. We get out the house, we go to the beach, we go to theme parks, and we're having those experiences. So we're getting less time with our family, but hopefully when COVID isn't part of our lives anymore, it will be more quality time. And when they come here, it will be for a holiday, and we'll be having a great time, and it will be less of a rat race and just getting home before dark, or getting home for dinner, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's what we said when we came. We like Mia and Karina as well, that when you come in, you might only be when you're at home, you might only see them for like an hour or two at a weekend, and it's not always every weekend. But here, if they're coming for a month, you've got them for a full month. Yeah. You could have them for basically equivalent to probably 12 months worth of contact in a confined time. Yeah. And it's more quality time as well, because you're actually doing things with them.
Yeah. People are going to make the effort to come here. I'll be booking Airbnbs here or there and everywhere, making sure they see where we live and going off on day trips. And we just don't do that so much, when they're on your doorstep, I guess. Yeah,
when you're back home, you might have the odd week away and take Granny, Grandpa and stuff like that. But it's not the same. When you come here, it'd be huge.
I think it's coming here, though, that it makes you realise that actually what you probably did back home with them, you probably could have done a lot more. Yeah. You just didn't. Didn't think. And it's coming here that makes you realise, well, hang on a minute. We live in the UK. We could have gone anywhere. You think you'll go here. Like we went to last weekend. We went down to Denmark, and it was like 6 hour drive, and we went down there camping for 2 days.
Just for a couple of days.
We took
my 2 boys down. It was good fun actually.
Nice.
But
yeah,
you would. I probably wouldn't go away 6 hour drive in a car in Scotland.
Yeah, if you were back home,
2 days.
I mean, even you in Portsmouth, you could go to. I mean, really, you could go to like somewhere in Wales for a day trip, and you wouldn't think of it, would you? But here it's like, well, it's only a couple of hours. Let's do it.
Well, the roads are straight and the sun's shining, and there's no sleet and snow and potholes. Yeah. I mean, it's easy. 6 hour drive was we cruised in, really. Yeah.
Absolutely. The roads are bigger. There's not as many people on the roads. It's a nicer experience doing a longer drive here.
Yeah, it's definitely. And the fact that they're so straight is just ridiculous. I saw a post the other day, actually, I think it was Instagram. It was like, it must have been across the Nullarbor. It was the straightest road in Australia, and it was like 1,000 kilometres long, straight or something. It was something ridiculous. Cause I used to measure the half mile markers or mile markers for the police cars when they were to calibrate their speed guns, and trying to find a road that was straight enough just for half a mile in Scotland was like nigh on impossible. And then you see that post the other day, it's like 1,000 kilometres long. It's like, it's a straight line.
Perfectly straight.
Are you noticing any big differences in sort of going to shops and things like that, Kerrie? How do you manage that?
Prices for grocery shopping is a lot more expensive here. But I think the quality may be slightly better. So, yeah, not too worried about that.
Is that more Toowoomba because it's a bit more isolated, or is that just in general, you think they're all like that when you're in Queensland and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Like, not eating out, the eating out's really good value. But yeah, doing like a weekly shop, I'm easily spending in pounds at least another £50 a week, I would say. But then, we're buying more beers because we're in the garden a little bit more. We're buying more barbecue stuff because we're in the garden a bit more. So yeah, it's probably that actually putting our costs up. But no, other than the weather and just, I guess, quality of life, I think the people seem a bit more laid back. I don't know what you guys think.
Oh,
I just feel
definitely.
Like,
I mean, Queensland is probably the more...
I think you are. It's the most laid back state in the country, I think.
Yeah. W is probably second. I think the people for W are so like the Scots, to be honest. I really feel quite a sort of, draw to them. They're very similar to us, I think. But Queensland people, they're even more laid back. It's quite incredible, really.
Yeah, it's taken some time getting used to how laid back people are, actually, especially when we were in the process of moving over and liaising with people in Australia to get us out here. They would say, oh yeah, we'll tell you, you'll have that information before you go, and we'd literally get it the last minute, where for me, I'd expect it 3 weeks before, being able to plan, but they're just so laid back. Everything was perfect, there's no complaints, but it was quite bizarre how laid back they were. It takes some getting used to.
Do you work just now?
I don't know. I'm having a year off, which is lovely. I went back to work when Dex was 6 months old. So I've always worked full time, and he's always been in full time education. So when we moved, I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't work for at least a year, maybe even 18 months, and just be the one to take him to school, pick him up from school. No childcare, summer holidays, the two of us. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it at the moment.
Well, the important times, aren't they? He's only young, so you want to make the most of it. And if you've got a fresh break, so a good 12 to 18 months is perfect for you.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But I guess that is another difference there in the UK, is that to be able to afford kind of the lifestyle we wanted, we both had to work. Where here, I guess housing is a little bit cheaper. Fuel is a lot cheaper. Just days out in general. It'd be raining and I'd take Dex out, I'd take him bowling, and before I know it, I'd spent £40, and then we'd go for lunch and that'd be another £30. And by that time, it's still only, 2:00 in the afternoon. He still needs entertaining. So we end up at the cinema, and that's another £30. Where here, I took him to Brisbane to South Bank, and we paid $17 parking for the full day. I took a picnic and we bought some ice cream. So in total, I think I spent $20 for a full day out. And he had the best time.
How cool is the South Bank? It's really good, isn't it?
It's so nice.
I couldn't believe it. I went over with a friend, and they said, you need to come see this. I've got this man-made beach and stuff. I'm like, wow, you're on the river. Why do you need a man-made beach? And it was absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful place. They've done a really nice job at it.
Well, our hotel for quarantine, what we didn't know is when we were looking out over the river in quarantine, South Bank was just out of our sight. It's probably hidden by trees, actually, and I'm so grateful, because if I had seen that,
you'd have been craving.
People having fun for 2 weeks in the port, and for Dexter, I mean, it would have been awful for him to see that. So
torture just as well. Got in that room then. It's a lovely, but Brisbane's a beautiful place. We've got offices in Brisbane, so I've been over a few times with work, and just going up and down that river. I mean, it's incredible, really. When it's all lit up at night and stuff as well, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's a bit different for back where we've got the Forth Bridge. It's lit up now and again in Scotland, but you go there and you can't see it for the mist and the rain half the time. So it's not quite the same.
It's not the sight you kind of want, is it?
No, you go there, you think this would be nice, go and see the bridge and all lit up, and you get there and it's like, bucket in the rain, can't see a thing. So.
The sunshine makes such a difference here, doesn't it? That's why life is so good, because the sun's always shining.
Yeah, you can plan for more as well. The amount of times you plan for a day trip in the UK that would inevitably be cancelled, where it's just nice here that you make plans and you can do them.
We get planning for like 6 months in advance and things. It's great. You can say, we were here, my oldest boy's birthday's in December, so he'd never had an outdoor party ever, and it's always like, go to a play centre or something like that. And we had a party down at the park, barbecue, and we had, there's a space hopper, and we had games and stuff, and he just thought it was amazing. He's in the sunshine, they're all about wearing shorts and t-shirts. Anyway, it's incredible. Yeah, the difference is incredible, what you can plan for and actually go and succeed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Dexter's the same. His birthday's in January. So, at home, that's a pretty dire month, isn't it? So I think this year we took him to Movie World, and he got to, and thankfully, weirdly, it was the weekend that Brisbane went into lockdown. So Movie World on the Gold Coast was fine, and we were fine, but Brisbane in between wasn't. So, but it meant that Movie World was empty because Brisbane couldn't go. No anyone from Brisbane can go. So he had the best birthday in the sunshine, and I dread to think what his birthday would have looked like in the UK.
Yeah, it would have been pretty dismal, wouldn't it? Especially now.
He'll be expecting that next year, though, Kerrie. You go back next year, be full. Oh no, sorry, son.
Back.
That's good though. We've never been there. Actually, I came past it by, but I've never went in. We were always going to go there with the kids, and
never got around to
it. We decided actually we're going to go a few years back, and we ended up going to Tokyo Disneyland instead of Queensland. But I think, I know this sounds stupid, but I actually think the reason we went is it was working out cheaper to go to Tokyo than it was to go to Queensland, believe it or not.
Wow.
But, it was some ridiculous thing. I can't quite remember. It might not have been exactly cheaper, but there wasn't enough difference to make.
Probably be a good time to go to Queensland when everything opens up again, because the flights are going to be really cheap now.
Yeah, they'll be desperate for it.
Because they want the tourism back, which includes us as well. Well, in fact, to be honest, they're going to be pushing for like interstate travel, aren't they? Because the borders are still shut.
Borders are still shut again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We've kind of missed the boat a bit now, because our daughter's like 15, and like her wanting to do anything with mum and dad is like, oh no. No.
Not cool enough.
No, definitely not cool enough. She don't want to do anything with us ever. And it's like, if she does, it's okay, go on.
See, this is the difference, Kerrie. You need to learn from this, right? So what Mark's displaying there is he's given her choice, right? But as a parent, it's a benevolent dictatorship I run in my house.
It won't be like that when they
go. I say, boys, we're going camping. It's not would you like to go camping?
Yeah, but the boys, they want to go camping. That's what boys do.
Fair enough.
Teddy won't be like that. You'll not get Teddy going camping. No way.
We'll see.
You're going camping now?
I reckon if I went and got her now says we're going camping at the weekend, she might go, and then we'd go anyway. She'd be fine. They love it. Once you just take them. They love it.
Wait till she's 15. There'll be nowhere.
I'm confident at the moment. When she's 15, totally different ball game, but.
Yeah, it's a totally different ball game.
It's easy. It's easy to make a case for it at the minute, mate. She's only 10.
Yeah, like Mia's got like a good friend that comes round quite often. His
boyfriend.
They just no boyfriend, not
a good boyfriend that comes round every time as a boyfriend.
They're just friends. And I said, Mia, are you good friends or boyfriend and girlfriend? She said, no, we're just friends. And she's got a serious race. I believe her.
I believe her, don't believe him. He's thinking, Mark's got a beautiful daughter, there's no way he's not thinking, I'm a potential boyfriend here.
Yeah, well, she says she's not interested in boys, but...
Well, you never know. It's probably better that she lies to you at the minute. So.
Yeah, it's hard work having a girl. Boys have got to be much easier, I'm sure. I'd have had loads of kids. Like I wanted like two at least, 3. But my wife only wanted the one, so she's happy with one. She doesn't want any more than one. And the problem is, as time goes on, once she started getting through preschool and she started like in primary school, it's like life back to normal again.
Yeah.
And the thought of starting it all again, I think it just frightened the hell out of her. Yeah. So I said,
I can imagine.
You got to have them all close together. We had our 3 close together, so we could, so you could get them all going at one time. I mean, a gap in between would be a nightmare. I've got 2 older siblings as well. They're 9 and 12 years older, and that was difficult.
Yeah,
it's caused difficult. So, and I've got a younger brother as well. He's a year younger than me, so it was interesting. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It's hard work. It's hard work.
Yeah, I'm one of 4, so I can picture that.
Well, I'm one of 3, so, and Karina's one of 3 as well, so.
Yeah, well, it's time yet. You never know.
She's 15.
Me might get a wee brother or sister. You never know.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think we've passed that sales. That ship's already sailed. I don't think there's going to be any more kids on the way now. Not 15 years is too long. Even though I think one of Mia's friends at school had a baby, and that were 15-year gap. So, Kerrie, are you still like, now you're here, are you still like pinching yourself at times thinking, like, is it real?
Yeah, there's quite a few times actually when you just, I guess, when you're talking to people at home and then you go off and do something amazing. I think there's one place we went, what was it called? Crow's Nest National Park. And we just did a massive hike, walking around beautiful scenery, spotting spiders and all sorts. And then it got hot and we just jumped in the water, loads of kids playing, screaming, jumping off. And I just, I had a real moment of this is our life now. Like, this is what we could just do at the weekend. And Dexter this isn't holiday, and you say, our photos and stuff, it looks like we're on holiday, and it's those kind of moments. It does feel like we're on holiday, but we're not. This is just our life now. And
how cool
really
is that? That is amazing. That's what I felt the first year we were here. My friend, I said to Mark as well, my friends were texting me saying, "You're not working yet." I said, "What do you mean? I've been working since I got here." But it just looks like you're on permanent holiday because of blue skies and your barbecues and you're at the beach or you're at the park or whatever. It's so much easier to live outside here, isn't it? Really.
Absolutely, yeah, it's so nice. And I think there's no pressure as well when it's bad weather. When it's good weather. Back in the UK, if you don't feel like going out, you think, well, I ought to, because you don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah, that could be it for like a month or 2 or 3. Yeah,
exactly. So, here there's been the odd sunny day where we've sat in and watched a film, and we'd never do that in the UK. You'd feel like you have to make the most of every minute.
No, we're exactly the same.
Less pressure.
Well, when we first got here, I was always at weekend like, come on, we're going out. And my wife would be like, do we have to go out all the time? And I'd be like, yeah, we've got to go out. We've got to go somewhere. And you realise you don't have to, because it's normal. I think it's just the excitement. So when we first got here, you're thinking you've got to make the most of it and do something all the time. And like now, I'll find myself like sometimes it'll be gorgeous outside, and I'll not even step foot outside. I'll just stay indoors because you don't need to. It's normal.
Yeah, it's quite strange. We were the same when we first got here. We went everywhere. I think some of it was just to explore, but others, we were just out all the time trying to take them, here and there, just to probably amuse them so they didn't miss home or whatever. But definitely getting out and exploring and stuff, and you've got to. But here you don't need to do as much anyway.
No.
In the UK, we were every weekend we'd go somewhere. Every weekend, and half the time if it was really raining, you'd end up in like some shopping precinct thinking, how did I end up here?
Always the same.
So why did you end up in a shopping precinct? Shopping precincts.
We'd go to the Trafford Centre and we'd get there and we'd think, what are we here for? We don't want to buy anything. We're in this indoor bubble full of chabs.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't want to be, or we go to like Mossbank Park or Hayall, which are just like little parks nearby, and you think you've got it. Right, you think I've been here once this year. Do I need to come here again?
Yeah,
you do repetitive things for the sake of doing them.
Yeah, you do.
That's true. But I do love the Trafford Centre.
It is now. Oh, you've been up there then, have you? You see, you've gone from Ports. Oh my God!
Yes, Scott's grandma lived in Rochdale.
You said Alan said Rochdale, and because you said Portsmouth.
I thought Rochdale for some reason. He must have mentioned it at some point or something. But yeah.
Yeah, so you're not a million miles away from us then. Well, I'm like out from Bolton, so you're not too far away from.
Yeah, we used to visit when she was alive, bless her. We went, I think I must have gone like 4 or 5 times. Like, I love Manchester.
Yeah.
It's a great place to visit.
Yeah, it's pretty vibrant. I mean, if you're fortunate enough to get there at Christmas, they have like the Christmas markets on. And they're beautiful.
Yeah. Gorgeous, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's probably the best. I mean, Manchester's actually quite nice now. I mean, 10 years back it wasn't as good, but now it's been completely redeveloped. So they've got all the old mills and that. They converted them all into apartments, and the outer suburbs are really nice now as well. But would I give that up for here? No. It's nice, but it's nice, but it's not that nice.
I can't see. I've spoken to a few people, aunts and stuff, particularly. Like, you think you'll maybe ever come back? I'm like, no. I've got zero interest in going on. I mean, I don't know why, really. I'm nothing against being in Scotland. I love Scotland.
Well, it's where you're from, isn't it? You can't really call it too much because it's like where you were born, it's where you're from, it's where your family is.
It's the strangest thing, because I did not expect to want to go back. I mean, I barely want to go back for a holiday. I think the technology's helped me a lot, though. I mean, I use it with my work and stuff, so I've always been used to it. But just being able to, speak to people who I want to speak to, when I want to speak to them, I don't need to be in Scotland for that. So that's been a huge advantage to me. But I genuinely did not think I would have adapted to here at all as quickly.
Yeah. But have you had lots of visitors?
Not really. No, I've had my brother was over once. He was only over for a week though. He was so busy with work and stuff. My sister-in-law got my flight over for his 40th birthday. It's a surprise, and he only had a week, so that was really nice. And my mum, she wasn't well before they got here, so she couldn't make it over. Unfortunately, she'd have loved it here. Honestly, my mum would have absolutely loved it. She would never went back actually. And my aunt's been over a couple of times, and then Lorna's mum and dad came over once. Her dad wasn't well either, but he came over because Lorna wasn't very well. Because that's the type of man he was. He's like, "You're not well? I'll be over." And he wasn't fit to come, but he did. And then he's passed away since, but Lorna's mum's been over a few times. So, and we had their really good friends came over they were only here for a week because they were travelling Australia. So they did two weeks in Melbourne and Queensland and Sydney and stuff, and they spent a really good week with us. So that was good. But no, we've not had a lot of visitors, to be honest. So
yeah, we've had my brothers would love to come. Like, I've got two brothers, but they've both got like wife and kids, and it's just afforded. Well, they can't come now anyhow, but before COVID, they'd like to have come, but just can't afford to come.
But it's an expensive holiday if you're bringing family with you and stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, they'd stay with us. They're saving a fortune on accommodation. But it depends what family it is as well. Like, some family are good enough some family are good enough to stay in your house. Other family, it's like Airbnbs. They're nice. You love them to bits. You love them to bits. But do you want them to live with you?
I don't know. It's probably a sensible idea getting an Airbnb.
It's an hard thing to do, though, isn't it? Like, you've got family coming over, and you come and visit us for a couple of days while you're here for a month, but just don't stay with us.
Yeah.
Now we've had my dad's been over once, and then Karina's mum and dad have been over, I think, 3 times, and we've only been here like 6 years. So for the first year we'd been here, we got here in October 2014, and then mum and dad came the actual following year. And to be honest, they probably come a bit soon. I think coming so quickly, probably.
You're not quite settled.
You're not really. You're still in kind of. You're not settled.
You're still in transition. Really,
you've not really come to terms with being here yourself. So when you see family so quickly, it does kind of pulls on your heartstrings a little bit, because you're saying goodbye to them, and you've not really. I don't know.
You're not over saying goodbye in the first time kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they come for the first year. Then I think they came for 3 consecutive years. And then my dad came as well. He loved it. He just came on his own. But a mum and dad would love to be here permanently. They'd just love it. But a dad's got Parkinson's, and he's not really in the best health. So and it's quite difficult, because I've told them they can come, because our garden's quite big, and I said we can put a granny flat in the garden, because you can have like an 85 square metre house that's classed as a granny flat, which back home home, that's bigger than a terraced house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My terraced house was 60 square metres when we
could have had that in the garden, but I think because they're quite elderly now, I think it's just the worry of leaving everything behind, and they worry about like NHS and things that they probably shouldn't really be worrying about. But I think your perspective change when you get old. And
yeah, of course.
But I know they would love to be here, but it's quite a difficult place to come. You can't just come. Like, I think if you're an elderly person, it costs something like, I'm sure it's something like £30,000 English pounds per person. And that's on a visa. That's on a visa which is not really permanent, but it kind of never expires, because it can take years and years for them to come to a decision. But you're allowed to stay while you're here.
It's like 30. It's got a 30-year. That's the parent visa or something. It's got like a 30-year limit on it.
Yeah, and then they do a compassionate visa for parents where they can come, but I think after 5 years they've got to leave. And then they can come back again for another 5 years, but then that's only giving them 10 years. And if you give 10 years on an elderly person, you don't know really how long they've got left after that. I mean, I don't think they'd evict you or anything, but yeah.
Have you got family, other than the COVID stuff, Kerrie, have you got family that's planning on coming out already? Have you got lots of promises that will be here and as soon as COVID's finished and things?
Yeah, I think Scott's mum would have followed us out if she could, bless her. She's desperate to get out for a visit. So as soon as she can, we know she'll probably be our first visitor actually, which would be great if she can get out soon. But I don't know how likely that will be this year.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd love it if she came out. I know Scott's brother would really like to come out. He's got a little boy that Dexter's really close to, so that would be amazing if they could get out sometime soon. And hopefully my dad's really scared of flying, but I know if he got here, I could convince him to stay. I'm sure of it. This is right up his street. So yeah, hopefully we'll get visitors soon. But yeah, I've got a few friends. I've got a friend that's he works for Virgin, so cheap flights. I'm hoping he'll be out fairly soon.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Is he still working for Virgin then with everything that's going on? Or
he is, thankfully. Yeah, he kept his job, but he is furloughed at the moment, so not flying anywhere. So hopefully soon he'll be on his way to Australia.
You would never have thought, would you, being an airline pilot or a stewardess or working for an airline, you'd actually be panicking about your job and security.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lady that the kids have got her daughter, I think, was an air stewardess, and then her husband, her son-in-law, was a baggage handler, and they both of them got made redundant. They ended up setting up. This is during COVID, so within the last 12 months, they set up a company called Lola and Co. And they're doing absolutely amazing, and they're making dog. What they call the scarves.
Oh yeah,
scarves for dogs. Bandanas.
Yeah.
So they've got this company, Lola and Co, that started from nothing just through being furloughed. So they set this company up, and they're doing amazing now.
Good on them, yeah, that's great.
Fantastic.
I thought
it's nice to hear a cheery story for now and again, except for everybody here is doom and gloom. I'm so sick of hearing this.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nice to hear something cheery. That's great.
Yeah. No, I should actually get Nugget one, but I don't know.
Do they do Expats and Corkcats logo on it? Can we need to get one with merch on it?
They could do.
Get a badge on it. I'd go for Toy as well.
Yeah, no, I might get him one. Be different, wouldn't it?
So what's the plans for this week then, Kerrie? Just more sunshine and outside and enjoying it?
Yeah, we haven't got too many plans. I think there's a nice shopping centre down on the Gold Coast that I quite want to look at. I think it's an outdoor shopping centre that I quite like the look of. We haven't climbed Tabletop Mountain yet, so I keep waiting. I'm wanting a cooler day because, hiking with a 6-year-old isn't fun in the heat. So I'm hoping to do that with him soon. No big plans, to be honest. I think, like I said, he's back to school now, so he's just started swimming lessons, Joey Scouts and piano lessons. So he's a busy little boy in the week. So yeah, I want to make sure at the weekend he's getting a bit of downtime. As much as, like you were saying earlier, you want to just get out every weekend because it's new and it's exciting. I think we need to pace ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, well,
make sure he's getting.
Yeah, you've got to remember that you're here for it. Well, you're here for the long term. Even you don't know how long you're going to be here for, but you're not on holiday.
Absolutely, yeah. And back at home, he didn't have a lot of space, so being at home was quite hard. But here, the houses are slightly, they are bigger. You got a bit more space to yourself, so. He got all these great Lego gifts and things for his birthday and Christmas. And because we're so busy and I drag him out everywhere, he's barely had time to play with anything. So it's quite nice to have some downtime at home as well.
That's good. He can sit out in the backyard and build his Lego as well.
Absolutely.
And the wind and the rain's not going to put him back in the house. He can just sit there and a bit of shade. Be perfect.
Well, he's young enough as well that in a couple of years he'll not know any different. He'll just think this is normal because you'll kind of. Once he gets to like 7 or something, he'll not be remembering what was happening back home. He'll just be thinking, "Yeah, this is it. This is how we roll."
Yeah, this is it. When we applied, he was 3. I think we moved at a good time. He didn't have a lot of time to make memories, I guess. So that worked somewhere in terms of his transition.
Yeah, making much. I remember when we first got here. He'd done primary 2. So when he went in, he was year 1, so he did some of the stuff again, kind of thing, but that was fine. And then we sort of did the countdown. Teddy was like, I don't know what age she was, 15 months or something when we got here. And then you go, a year later, she'd been in the country more than she had been in Scotland. And then
it's mental, isn't it?
Then sort of 6 years later, Mason had been in the country more than they'd been in the country. So you get all those little stepping stones where you go, Dexter will be in 5 years' time, we'll have, or 6 years' time, we'll have been in Australia longer than he has been. And I mean, my kids have got memories of back home, but nothing to worry about. They don't, again, because of technology, most of their memories are with Gran and Grandpa on Skype and stuff, really. You know, the other ones are just pictures that they've seen, but they certainly don't remember, and it doesn't upset them at all.
Yeah, well,
that's nice.
Mia's 8. Well, what was she? She just turned 8 when we got here, and like she's 15. She's 16 in October, and it's mental to think that she'll have been here. She'll have had half a life here.
Yeah, it's quite funny, those little stepping stones.
And she's looking forward now to like driving lessons. I'm like, oh my god, she's like, because like the thing is, to Mia, like it's took forever to get from 8 to where she's now 15. That time goes slow, but when you're a parent, that time just flies. And you think that we've been here now 6 years, and it just seems like you could have just flicked a switch. It's gone that fast. So she was like this little girl when like. Even though she was 8, she's still a little girl, and like now she's from when she turned 15, she's like turned into this right diva, and she's got boys coming around that are just friends.
Yeah, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing because my 10-year-old's going to get there. Yeah. I'm laughing a little bit.
Yeah,
but I'm trying not to.
Yeah, but just when she said she wants to learn to drive, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, where's this like little girl gone? She's just gone.
My oldest boys, but they've been getting that at school and stuff this week as well. But I think he's already sat his theory test. I don't know if that's true or not. But he's done some test anyway about his theory. So, and it aced it apparently. Yeah. So, and he has to wait till December. But yeah, he's looking forward to driving and stuff. It's like, you know, it was only last week that you're sitting on my knee kind of thing. No, I'm 6'4", my boy's nearly, he'd be 6'1" anyway, and he's only 15, so he's every time I turn around, I'm like, man, you're nearly as tall as me, you know. It's just, yeah, scary, it was only big when we got here kind of thing. It changes quickly. It's the sunshine.
Yeah, we were laughing at that the other day. It's like a weed. I'm sure it's the sun. Yeah. It's just all of a sudden shut up.
It's funny when you see even on Skype and stuff or whatever you're using, but when the parents and your friends come over and stuff, they see them and they, man, look at the size of them. Lorna's mum, the amount of time she's been over now, she just cannot believe the size of the kids every time. Even on Skype, they'll come in. Is that Alan coming in? Says, no, that's Isaac. What? And because he's maybe walking through the hall or something like that, and you see the size of him. It's quite comical when you hear them talking about how big they're getting, and because you don't notice it as much when you're standing next to them, you know.
We've got a chart in the pantry. We've got like, well, not a chart. It's on the wall. We've just done a measure on the wall from when we got here, because we had one back home.
Have you grown much, mate?
Yeah.
No, I've not. I've actually got smaller.
Have you? That was only a joke.
No, I have. I'm actually about half an inch smaller. I'm thinking, what's going on here?
It's the weight of the world on you, mate.
Yeah, no, but like when we've got because we had a chart back home in the UK, and then I didn't bring it with us because it would fall into bits. But I took a picture of it, got all the measurements, and then I transferred them all on the wall when we moved in. So now we've got them all on the wall, and now when I look at Mia, it's like she's virtually the same size. Yeah, she's like this little tiny like dot down here. Like now she's like way up here, and she's still growing.
That's good. My mate has got a straight edge. It's like a 2 metre long straight edge, and he's one of his oldest tools. He's a carpenter, and he's been using that to mark his 2 boys since he was kids. So he still uses it as well, but he's got the marks on it and the age written next to him and stuff. It's really cool. It's a nice little
bit of memorabilia, though.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
cool.
The problem is with us, we can't take the wall with us if we move. Yeah.
So this is a silly question, but are you living in a Queenslander? Do you know what a Queenslander is?
I do.
No.
A Queenslander, I might be wrong.
The grand old timber looking houses, aren't they?
But they're on stilts.
Yeah.
So it's a timber house on stilts. So when the water's flooding and under air under the house and stuff like that as well, I think it's mainly for air under the house. But they're called Queenslanders. So when you probably see them, but they're timber houses based on stilts. But,
I can picture what you. Yeah, I never knew they were called that, but no, our house is quite modern. I think because Jordan is quite high up, you don't often see them. I guess it probably doesn't flood. I think it has flooded here a good few years ago, but I don't think they get it often.
Yeah. Like I'm saying it's for flooding. I don't think it probably isn't for flooding. It's probably more for the ventilation. I think what I'm remembering is when they did flood in Brisbane and stuff, a lot of the houses were kind of saved a little bit because they were up in the air a bit. But yeah, I think it's more for the airflow. A friend of mine in Brisbane, she stays in a Queenslander, and it is beautiful. I'm not kidding. It's like solid wooden floors. It's got the big veranda, and it's got the the Queenslander style underneath it and stuff. It's amazing. So
yeah, Brisbane's amazing. I think when it comes to us settling, because at the moment we're renting just while we're moving around with Scott's job for a while. So we'll probably actually only be in Toowoomba for another maybe 10 months, and then we'll be moving on. But I think when it comes to moving, I think our heart at the moment is in Brisbane. So obviously we want to see a few more places, but yeah, we absolutely love it. The work, obviously there's work there being a city, but it's just so great for kids and families, and I love the lifestyle there.
Yeah, but look, if you're moving around, Perth's a beautiful place as well, so...
We are absolutely Perth's on our bucket list. I definitely want to get over there. It's quite windy in Perth, is that right?
No, it's not really.
No.
They call it.
They say it is, but it's not. And
yeah.
Up sort of Geraldton, the trees sit like that. But that's about 4 hours for us. I mean, where Mark and I are, it's a little bit windy. It's not even windy. It's just there's a breeze.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not windy, but it's welcome though, because it's 40
degrees. It's only in the afternoons really, innit? And you don't always get it. It's just in the afternoon you get a cool breeze, and sometimes it can be windy.
Yeah, but it's not cold. I mean, you very seldom get a cold breeze. It's a breeze coming. It cools the air, but it's. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's windy. Would you say so? I mean, I'm from Scotland. You can't ask me. You wouldn't.
It's not windy. Yeah.
I mean, my mum used to hang. I mean, they over here they say it's like 60-kilometre-an-hour winds and stuff, and everybody's tying things down. My mum would be putting a wash in it. You know, come on, really, it's not really windy.
Well, it's like I don't know what it's like over there, but like we get a bit of bad weather here, and they call it a storm.
Yeah,
like to an English person, it's just rain, and if it's bad, it's just heavy rain.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used the term storm in the UK once. It's just pissing it down. Or it's raining hard, or it's the lightning, or I've never mentioned storm. No. And here it's like we're getting rain for 10 minutes, and we're getting bad storms.
Yeah. But no, it's not particularly windy, but it's a different temperature. It's more sort of Mediterranean type heat here.
Yeah.
So it's nice and dry, and you very seldom get humid weather unless there has been a storm.
Yeah. I think it's more like Adelaide as well, isn't it? I think Perth and Adelaide are very similar climates.
Yeah. Adelaide's cooler, certainly. It's a bit cooler. I love Adelaide as well, actually. I mean, all the major cities I've been at, I wasn't a huge fan of Melbourne. Only saw a little bit of Sydney. It's a lovely looking place, and I've got good friends that love it there. But I've not spent enough time there. But Adelaide, I've spent a bit of time there. I love it there. It's beautiful. Yeah. So you've got plenty of choices. You know, if you are moving around.
One of the options for Scott's work is actually Sydney. So, and it's hard because we've got a couple of friends there, so it'd be great to be close to them. But I can't make up my mind. I'm not sure. It looks great for a visit. I don't know if it's somewhere that I want to live.
Yeah, I think it depends. A lot of people have moved out of Sydney in the last couple of years as well, but I don't know why. Probably cost of living and stuff.
Yeah, you've got to look at affordability as well, though, haven't you? Because if you want to settle down and make roots and buy an house, obviously you don't want to be spending too much.
No. Having friends in somewhere is important as well. I mean, one of the reasons we're in Perth is because one of my best friends was in Perth. We could have came anywhere in Australia, and that was probably maybe not the final decision, but the fact him and his wife and his 2 boys at the time actually were here, that was a big difference. So having friends is important, certainly, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a few occasions where you thought, if my husband went away for work, for example, what would I do if I got sick, or what would I do if, I don't know, there's a flood in anything, I don't have anyone here just to say, I need you to grab Dex, I need you, can I have some help? So yeah, having friends, I think would be, it has swayed our decision a little bit in where we're opting for, but yeah, it's quite hard. And we're, as much as we're, finding everyone so lovely here, and I've been invited out for coffees and things with some of the mums from Dexter's school, and everyone's so great. I think where we're not here for very long, I guess I'm probably not making as much of an effort as I should do. But what I have found is it is easy to make friends here. If I was putting in more effort, the people here are so lovely and so accommodating. That yeah, I think as much as I'm swaying towards Sydney because we've got friends there, I think wherever we went, we probably would make friends just because of how lovely the Australians seem to be, how accommodating they are.
Yeah, they're very friendly, aren't they? I think they're, definitely. I mean, don't know that many Queenslanders, to be honest, but everybody, we work with people from Melbourne, a couple of people from Sydney in the office and stuff as well, and they're all super friendly. I mean, it's just, ridiculously nice people. Everybody you meet seems to be nice. And
you kind of have to put yourself out of your comfort zone a bit, and you've got to kind of do things you wouldn't normally do and be a bit more outgoing, even if you're not that type of person. Because if you didn't, if you didn't do that, you'd never interact or make new friends.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah, you're completely right. I think when with Scott's job, his job's a little bit sporadic at the moment, I guess. He's not really meeting many people, and I'm not at work. But I think, once we're settled and I'm back at work, I think it'll be quite easy to make friends here and get on with people. I mean, you can't not get on with people here. People are just lovely, and I think their laid-back nature is kind of just easy to get on with. But I'm kind of looking forward to work for that reason. Actually, I guess it must be a bit easier to make friends, really like-minded people, I guess, if you're in similar roles as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what. Sorry, Mark.
No, sorry.
That's what Mark and I say regular.
It's the like-minded people.
It's the like-minded people that's what happens. That's why Mark and I are probably friends. That's why most of our friends in the last couple of years have all been expats.
And you don't go out and look for it. You don't go out and look for it either. It just actually you're drawn to people that have got similar like mindsets that you have.
It'd be the same with kids at school and stuff. When you meet parents at school, the ones you'll draw towards are the ones that are similar to you and things like that, and whether the same experiences or just even having kids the same age is probably enough at some point to be similar, but it's not hard to make friends though, but you're right, you have to put yourself out there.
And I certainly need to do that. I think I've been bad at it, like I say, because we're not here for long, and because I'm not at work, I guess there's not been loads of opportunities, but the small opportunities that have come my way, I have gone out for coffees, and just an hour coffee date is turned into a 4-hour coffee date, and people are just so lovely, and it's been great, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. I hope you don't mind giving me a bit of advice, but a few people I know who came over, husbands were working, kids were loving it, going to school, and the wife, who much like yourself actually driving force to get here, after a few months just couldn't cope because they were sitting at home all day, and they're either on Facebook or their friends are missing them, or families and cousins and aunts and uncles are saying, we miss you. Every one of them has went home because the wife wasn't working.
They might not just be putting themselves out there.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is, because they're not making the effort, and you're probably slightly different circumstances, because you probably, like you said, you're not thinking you're going to be staying there forever, so you're probably thinking, what's the point, pretty much.
Yeah, I've got to enjoy it now before it's over.
Yeah, because can you imagine if you made this amazing friend and you really gelled and you really clicked, but then you're thinking you're going and you think,
yeah, that's it. I can imagine staying at home full time, getting a bit repetitive at times, and I have been quite aware that I don't want to fall into that rabbit hole of being bored and maybe resenting Scott for going out and being busy and meeting people where I'm not. So I have been keeping myself really busy, and that was one of the reasons why I started writing a blog. I write for a living. That was my I was copyright at home. Did internal communications, etc. So I knew that I enjoyed writing. So I thought I'd just start a blog, keep myself busy, write about our experiences. It's something I relied on quite heavily in our move, even researching, finding other people's kind of personal experiences rather than, companies telling you what to expect making a move, or immigration sites. I wanted to hear people's own personal stories. So it's one of the reasons I started that up, just to give myself something to do. So if I do find myself kind of twiddling my thumbs a little bit, I think, no, that's what I'll go and do. I'll go and sit in the study and do something like that. But if I'm completely honest, I don't know how I worked and kind of did all the other things alongside it. So, I take Dex to school and come home, and before I do a few little chores, or I run out, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I've only got an hour or so, and I'm picking him up. So the days are just running away here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've started working, I probably only work like three days a week, sometimes 4 days a week, but like the days I don't work, and I'll take me to school, and I'm the same. I think, how do you fit anything else in? Because you do a few little things and your day's actually over with, and you've not done anything.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely, yeah.
That's good though, Kerrie. Honestly, it was 2 or 3 of my friends exactly what happened to them. So if you're keeping yourself busy and you're happy doing your blog and stuff, which sounds fantastic, I mean that'll certainly get you through, because I genuinely saw it happen right in front of my eyes, and it was like they were so happy here, and then everyone just went pear-shaped, and you think, how did that go so wrong so quickly? And that's what it was. It just sit in the house, take the kids to come back, getting on Facebook, and then missing their friends from back home.
Yeah, I think Facebook doesn't always help, because you're kind of living your life on Facebook over there, not here.
Yeah.
And my wife falls victim to that. She's like homesick as hell, and she'd go home in a heartbeat. And like we've been here we've been here 6 years now, and she'd quite happily just go home now and not come back. But because of quarantine, obviously we can't go. So I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, hopefully. Well, she's gonna go back. She wants to go back to be with her mum and dad for like a few months. So I'm looking forward to when quarantine's over. Then she can go back, and then I'm hoping that when she's been back a few months, then she'll realise what she's missing over here as well as what she's missing over there. But I'm hoping that she'll be feeling like she'll be happy to get back here.
Difficult with her dad being ill as well, though. I mean, I think that must be a big one, really.
Yeah, because her dad's got Parkinson's as well. She's worrying about her dad, but then she's also worrying about the burden. I mean, her dad's not really putting a strain on like her mum, but in a way, it's difficult for her mum because she's fine. Her dad's got Parkinson's, and because of COVID, like it's so difficult where you can't go out, and I think it takes its toll, and I don't like kind of ignorant to the fact over here because we've not really experienced it, but like just having a week in quarantine, my wife was like, oh my god, I can't cope with this, I can't go out. I think, hang on a minute, it's a week.
Yeah. Suck
it up, yeah. We'll be right.
But you're right though, I mean, it was a strange thing though, because we've been so isolated for so long, having that week, it was really quite, I was lucky I was able to go to work actually, but it was strange even going to work and wearing a mask for a week. And, you did
feel different with the mask on, and you think, oh my god, and the thing is, you've been through, you've had all that. You've had that for like 7 or 8 months at least.
Yeah. So UK went into lockdown fully in the March. It started to lift in the May, and we actually had quite a good summer. But just the whole experience of COVID, and like I said earlier, not saying goodbye to family and friends, and it was really difficult, and it made it really hard as well. We almost resented the small amount of time we had, rather than see 10, 15 members of family all at once and getting a bit of a happy goodbye. We were going around and just doing like one-on-one goodbyes, which actually turned out to be a lot sadder than I think it needed to be. I think if there was more of us there, it would have been a bit more of a light-hearted affair. But we were, sitting in a room for an hour with someone, just, quite teary.
Yeah, goodbyes. It's like the long goodbye, pretty much, and
it's quite draining as well. Especially I was still at work. I think I worked up to 2 weeks before we flew, so I'd finished work and we were off. Like, whose goodbye is it tonight? And,
but they're getting that. You're getting that goodbye from whoever you're seeing. They're getting that upset once, but then you have to do it again with another family member, and then again with another.
That's it. We were just in tears constantly for weeks. Saying goodbye to people, and it was really, really hard. And I don't think I could. I ever do that again. And when I hear your experiences of people going back, I just think I couldn't. I'm not doing that and turning around on it. I've done it now. I'm committed, because that can't be for nothing after all that heartache.
Well, we've got. I mean, Mark's a bit of ping pong pom. He's been slightly. I mean, very slightly, but we know. I've got one very good friend that, in fact, I think he's going to come on the show at some point. But they've been back 3 times. And I've got another good friend. They're actually back now. They're a Welsh couple, a lovely couple. We met them actually camping holiday one time. Funny enough, when my wife Lorna, she was back with her youngest in Scotland she was back on a business trip. Took her with her. I took the boys camping just to get out of the house for a while, and we met this couple with their kids, and we became very good friends. And then through one thing or another, they've been back to Wales, then back over, then back to Wales again, then back over. And then now they're back in Wales again, but they'll be back eventually, just with education and a couple of different things that got them there. But I don't know how people do that.
Is that fully committed? All your belongings on a container, everything, or is that just leaving a house in the UK and going on like an extended holiday?
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's more like all. But no, they have literally, they are proper. They've came over here, settled in. I mean, they did one thing, but I mean, it's not my story to tell really. But they had reasons for going back the first time, so they went back, and then that all sort of got resolved, I think, and then they came back over, and then I think they left their oldest daughter there. Actually, she was doing school, and then they just realised, no, we can't leave her. You know, and she's. I mean, if you knew the family, you'd understand why they couldn't leave her. They're such a tight knit group, so they went back over, and they're still there, sort of, you know, until I would imagine till the oldest, till their oldest son sort of finishes secondary school, and then the younger two probably start secondary school, and I would imagine they'll be back here before that. But I've not spoken to them about that too much, but I think that's what happened. They love it here, but you know, for different reasons they went back. But it's incredible, the ping pong poms. Really, you think that's never going to happen? It does.
I thought it'd never happen to me. Well, to be honest, I'm not really.
I'm not really
half. I'm not. I'm not really a ping pong pom because
he was there 1 month or something.
Yeah, well, I didn't really go. I kind of went back temporarily. It didn't really feel as real because we didn't
know that at the time, though.
We didn't sell. Well, we actually did sell quite a lot of our stuff in our house. Like we sold quite a bit of furniture to reduce it all, so there were less burden on me. But like we all went back as a family. Wife and daughter were staying there. I were coming back to kind of wrap up the house and sell everything. But then it ended up where they ended up coming back because my daughter was just like really miserable. So yeah, it didn't really pan out. For me, it just felt like a holiday because I went back for a month. But like Alan said, I didn't know that at the time. I just thought I was coming back and I was going to be going back to the UK permanently. But it was a weird feeling. Because I'm quite happy here. Like I love the way of life. And
you're built to live in this country, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone that doesn't miss friends and family is lying. I think everyone misses their friends and family, but I think for a lot of people they miss them, but they don't miss them enough where they want to go back. They can cope being here and just speaking to them on WhatsApp or Skype, and I think for most people they can manage. But then for like my wife, she just struggles because of like family, and like she's got a couple of sisters too, what she's just kind of drawn to and wants to be. Do you
not think the sort of the notion of it is more than the reality, though? You know, people think, we really miss them, and then you go back, and the reality is you don't see them as often as you would anyway. I mean, Lorna, I think we're a prime example of that. Lorna's mum and dad were an hour from us, and we'd see them. Once our little girl came up, we never seen them as often because he used to come up and look after our two boys when we were both working. But when our little girl was born, we'd maybe see them, you know, twice a month at the weekend. We'd go down for a couple of hours and things. But when we got here, we were on Skype every day, and we literally saw them every single day. And they had more to do with my kids growing up in this country, I can guarantee, than they ever would if we were back in Scotland. Absolutely guaranteed. We'd never have spent that much time, because you come in at night, you got work, do things with your kids, especially when we got here. We were here, the kids were either doing football or golf or something, and if we were back home, that's another night gone. You're not going to see them, and you're not going to even be spending time on the phone. But what we were doing here is we'd go and take them to golf, and I'd put Skype on, and Gran and Grandpa would sit in the living room and watch them playing golf. Or we'd go to the beach, and I'd just put the camera on them on the beach, and they've got their paddle boards and whatever, their boards and stuff, and kicking around, and they'd sit on their couch having a coffee and watch them on the beach and stuff. They'd never got that back home. So that's my theory.
Yeah.
I think Alan's like one of the few though that actually probably went above and beyond and kind of made the extra effort to keep family in the loop, because I think in reality most people,
that's true,
and it's not what you've done is pretty amazing really, because I don't think, like, we never, regrettably now thinking about it, we never made as much effort, and we kind of just Skyped probably a couple of times a week.
Look, we got here though, Mark, and Lauren and I settled easily, right? We thought this is fine. We're both working right away, so you get back into the habit right away. So for us, we didn't feel we had to go out and make friends and really find our own way to settle in. So we could focus on family. Whereas other people that come over, they've not got that luxury. They're feeling it for themselves. They're having to go and try and find their way in work and try to find their way in life and make friends and stuff, and they just don't get the time to spend.
Yeah.
You have to look after yourself first,
and
first and foremost. And I think we were lucky we didn't have to do that. We were so content within our own little family group. And as I say, we had one of my best friends was here, so we had them as well. So we came over with a fully integrated family, friendships, jobs, and then so it was easy to do the rest of the family back home.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're definitely missing family and friends a lot, but I guess selfishly, COVID has helped that a little bit in that, Christmas, for example, which I thought would be a really difficult time to be here on our own with no family, no friends, seeing all my family come together and doing the big Boxing Day at Nanny Pat's, which I've done every year for, I don't know, 32 years. And, no one could do that. And so I guess in some ways it helped us a little bit. We haven't experienced, like what you're saying, your wife, she's on Facebook, she's seeing her friends and family come together and she's missing them. I'm not getting that yet. None of my friends are going out for dinner and having cocktails or, all the things that I'm going to do, they're not doing. So in some ways it's allowed me maybe a little bit of extra time that I didn't expect to get settled and feel content here. So when they are getting together, hopefully I'll be, in a place where, yes, I'll miss them, but I'll still be very happy here and I won't resent it.
Yeah, it's probably a good way of looking at it, because there's probably a lot of people just like you that have emigrated over here during COVID, and it's probably helping them out big time, because like you said, you do feel a bit selfish thinking it, but it's doing you so much good, because they're not enjoying themselves back home. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to say. You don't obviously want it to be like that, but it's really good to be helping you out mentally.
Absolutely, yeah. And very fortunate that all our family and friends are thrilled for us, and they want us to be out here. They want to see us having a good time, and they want to see our pictures of Dex at the beach and Dex learning to bodyboard, etc. So we wish they could have that life, getting settled here and not missing family and friends, but not missing occasions, I guess. There's no And I guess that's helped a little bit. But
do you find, since you've been doing your blog, like at home and obviously here as well, do you find that doing your blog has kind of helped your family as well? Because are they like kind of going through the story with you as you're writing it, they're reading it, and it's kind of keeping everybody updated?
Yeah, actually, I got an email from my auntie saying, when are you adding the next one or something? It's really nice. Like family that I come from a really big family. My dad's side of the family is huge. I think there's something like 16 cousins in total. We're all now having our own children, so it's a big old family, and we might see each other. As sad as it sounds, it's once at Christmas, and then if there's a wedding or sadly a funeral or something, we don't get to see each other. So it has been nice. And I think when I write it, I kind of picture my dad reading it, or Nanny Pat reading it, and just keeping them up to date with what we're doing. And I think, as we're saying about contact, I'm maybe a little bit guilty of not contacting people as much as I should. I think, it gets to the evening when a convenient time for the UK would be to call. By the time I've got Dexter to bed and he's done homework and we've done dinner and I've caught up with their day because we've spent the the day apart, I just want to sit down with Scott and watch Netflix or sit down with a glass of wine. As awful as that sounds, I sometimes don't want to talk to anyone. I want to enjoy the evening with my husband. So I guess in some ways I do use it as a way to, everyone knows I'm safe. They can keep up to date with me, and I will phone when I've got the time. I think it's been really helpful for them, just keeping up to date with us. And I know I make little YouTube clips of what we've been doing. It's just mainly Dexter running around a beach, to be honest, at the moment. But
that's good to give a lift though for family back home. And when you see your nephew, your niece, or whoever, grands and seeing grandkids and stuff running about having fun, it's huge. It's such a lift for them. That's why we did so much Skyping from the beach and things when we first got here.
Absolutely. One of my best friends sent me a photo of her daughter, my goddaughter, watching us on the telly, on the beach or something, and it just I don't she's so little, I want her to know who we are, and it's just another way of communicating that with her, you know.
Yeah, and plus once you've created it, it's there forever, so it's never going away. So everyone can look at it, and it's not just friends and family either. It's as other people that'll start finding you that are thinking of moving, or it's a medium for other people to look at.
It'll be a lot of help for a lot of people. I mean, when we first got here, there was no Facebook groups, and for Perth or anything, I couldn't find anything like that. I did most of my stuff from friends I knew here, or guys that were very helpful through work and stuff, wanted to give me tips on what I needed for surveying or whatever else. And people, I mean, most of them were Australians in as well, and I knew nobody, not a single person, but I'd email them about a job, and before you know it, they're writing emails back to you, helping you and stuff. I think these people are fantastic. And then we had a couple of friends that were doing the same, and there was no Facebook groups and no blogs and stuff. No, I think there was one blog. It was a guy, I think it was called Palms in Oz as well. He's probably still going. I think it's a big Facebook, website now.
Yeah.
But he was just one guy. He was in Queensland as well, funny enough. And he started this sort of blog, and it became bigger and bigger. But he was the only one I could get any information off just from his blog.
Yeah.
Other than that, I couldn't find anything. That was 9 years ago.
That's why we started this podcast as well, because there's lots of Facebook groups now, but when you actually start looking, there isn't many. There isn't many people doing anything like this. Well, there is a few, but there isn't many. And there's loads of websites now and Facebook groups. They're saturated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Most of the groups we're on are sort of, it's more local. Where's the best place to go for something to eat? Who's the best carpenter? That type of thing. And you get the odd one who asks, what it's like being here, because there's a lot of people joining groups and stuff now that aren't in Australia, but they're coming to Australia and stuff, and that's been good. But again, they're in the minority still, really. Where so hopefully that's the podcast and your blog will, between the three, we should be able to help a few people. Kerrie, that'd be quite nice.
Definitely. One of the most asked questions I get is about quarantine and about the cost of living, and I think in particular quarantine. Unless you've emigrated in the last few months, which a lot of people haven't. You've got to be on particular visas and to have even been allowed in. So, and the cost of quarantine, it's not something people factor in. It's been quite nice being able to chat to people that are in the same boat. In fact, one girl I was chatting to was emigrating on Christmas Eve. So her daughter, I think she was 7 or 8, was in quarantine for Christmas Day. But it was so nice to be able to chat to her and give her a bit of understanding of what it might be like for her, so she could prepare her daughter. So I do feel like I've helped quite a few people, which is great, and people help me as well.
So did she just stumble across your blog by chance then, or?
Yeah, I don't know how actually. I should have probably asked her. I guess
it's probably through your Instagram account though, because if people are got interests in the same kind of things, you just get content comes to you, doesn't it? I mean, Facebook are that clever; they just send what they think is going to be relevant to you.
That's good. That must have been a big help for her on Christmas Eve, almost, Christmas Day for the kids spent, and having somebody who's experienced it already being able to help her and stuff. That's really good, Kerrie. Must make you feel quite good. Yeah,
I did actually. And there's one Facebook group I did come across is called something like Quarantine in Oz or Quarantine in Australia, something like that. And it was very, very negative. So much so that I was dreading our experience. And don't get me wrong, no one wants to be locked in a hotel room for 2 weeks with a 5-year-old. However, we got put in a lovely hotel. We had a beautiful view. The food was great. It was very clean. Everything. I don't know what else people wanted. It is quarantine. It's not going to be fun. But in terms of the room we were given and the care we were given, the staff were fantastic. We got to go out on walks. The police officers that took us down for our 15, 20-minute walks, some of them would phone us and they would get us and another family out at the same time. And as long as the adults socially distanced, we all had to wear masks anyway, they let the two boys play football together.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
It was 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, and it was just so good of them. And it made such a difference to Dexter's day, just having 20 minutes with another child playing football. Yeah. So, quarantine isn't fun, and it wasn't, as quarantine goes, we can't complain. We knew it wasn't going to be fun, but the hotel made it. They did such a good job. So it's quite nice to be able to put a bit of a positive spin on it when, like I said, the one group I found to try and get information was very, very doom and gloom, moaning about the food, moaning about the fact that they even had to quarantine, which for me, coming from England and seeing the world that I knew and leaving that, I'm very grateful for the way Australia is. And as I said before, I'd put myself in quarantine 1,000 times over to live the life that we get to lead now.
Yeah, it's good to know, because at the end of the day, when you're here, especially with what's happened back in the UK, everybody that's in Australia are very privileged.
Oh, absolutely.
You might not know that or feel it if you've not come from the UK. Like if you were born in Australia, you might be moaning about having these little quarantines, these like what the 5-day lockdowns and what have you. But I think if you'd been from the UK and you've got family there and you spoke to them and you know what they're going through, then the little sacrifices that you've had to go through to get here for the life that you've got is worth every minute of it.
Absolutely. We're just so grateful. There was one point, because our visas were taking so long because of COVID, we'd given notice on our house, we'd given our notices into our jobs. I remember it was June at my granddad's funeral, and I remember my aunts and uncles asking me, so, when are you going? I was like, don't know, like hopefully still October. And I said, but you've given your notice in, you don't have a job, you don't have a house. We know we're going to be homeless. There's a better life on the other side. Yeah, well, at least your life was starting, wasn't it? Because you've give everything up. You've got this you're in limbo, not knowing what's happening. So at least when you got it, you had 2 weeks in quarantine, and then that's it. Your new life is beginning then. Absolutely, and to be honest, it was probably more 10 days in quarantine, because those first 4 days,
you'd be sleeping with the jet lag, I would imagine.
That's probably a bad. Absolutely, yeah. And I guess when you come here, ordinarily you can get yourself out and try and combat it by, going out for the afternoon and making sure you don't sleep. But we were sat in a room, we were sat on a bed or a sofa. It was so easy just to nod off. So yeah, we did. We had a few bad nights with Dex getting him over that time.
Yeah, the time lag can be a bit of nightmare, really. But I've never been back a couple of times, and I've never had any dramas with the jet lag at all. I went back to do stuff though, so you go back, you've not got time to be jet lagged. I suppose it might. If I went back for a holiday, it might be different.
Yeah.
I think it's probably, I don't know. I didn't have it when I got back there. I mean, the day I got back, I was out doing stuff, seeing friends, and then when I came back here, exactly the same thing. As soon as I got back, I just went straight back to work, and I didn't even feel like I'd been away.
Yeah,
but I think I don't know.
The flights are good coming from Perth back to the UK as well. The times are
they're
pretty
brilliant.
Good. You sort of sleep during the night, and it's not too bad actually. So. But it might be a slightly different Queensland with being the 10 hours and stuff. That'll be.
I think it's more. The travel is one thing, but I think it's more the time difference. And I think because Perth, UK is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because we don't have daylight saving here either, so it's only 8. Either. Oh, so it's 8 hours and 7 hours, so we're pretty good, which does help.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you've got if you go down to Sydney and stuff like that, you go from Queensland to Sydney, it's an hour different right away.
Yeah,
because they do this daylight savings.
Yeah, we flew into Sydney and then on to Queensland. I think we kind of arrived at the same time or something. I remember it being very bizarre.
Like weird feel. Yeah.
That's strange. Some came up on my Facebook. Lorna went over to New York. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. It came up my memories, and the post I'd put on was she left at I think it was 1:45 or something. She left, and she arrived at 3:45 the day before. Or something that was crazy. How can that happen?
Yeah.
She's going because she went to she flew to Dallas kind of thing. So she
can actually phone you up and it's the same time she left.
It was she left there. I think she got there. It was the other way around. It was like 3:00 she left, and she got there at 1 or something like that. So she got there 2 hours before she had left.
Yeah,
kind of thing, because it was a 16-hour flight or something back in. That's crazy, and your mind just goes poof.
Yeah, time difference.
Yeah. But no, I don't miss the jet lag. I only ever had jet lag once. Actually, that was when on our honeymoon we went to Cancun, and that was like 4 a.m, ding, wide awake. I was out walking around the complex at and then 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, yeah, it's bedtime. London's got more honeymoon. It's like bedtime.
I think I had jet lag last week when we went down to Albany. Because I remember I woke. It was a weird feeling. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I just got up, went down to the beach. I went for a walk, did a bit of a video.
He went to the beach, Kerry, right? It was pitch dark, 3 in the morning. I never heard him getting up, actually. I've got my two boys are lying snoring in the tent. Mark gets up, went to the beach, thinking, 3 in the morning, I'll just have a go for a wander. He's walking down there, and then he realises it's pitch dark. He's going through all this grass and stuff.
I was
thinking, he started to get in a panic attack.
I was panicking.
With snakes and stuff.
I had like an head torch on, and I had my camera, and I was videoing, but then I started panicking because I'm thinking, hang on a minute, snakes actually come out at night, like, and they want to walk.
I don't think they do actually.
Do they not?
Standing on them, no, I don't think so. They're not nocturnal. They
were like sand dunes, and I had to like walk from the beach to like the caravan park. It was probably about 200 metres, and I just started walking back, and all of a sudden, do you know, like when you get that fear? What's it called? Fear of
flight or fight.
Flight or fight, and something just went in me, and I just darted, and I'm running back as fast as I could, and my heart rate was going, and I didn't see anything, I didn't feel anything. I just
the mistake he made, Kerry, was he came back and told me and my two boys. So I mean take that to your grave, that kind of story. You don't tell your mate and his two boys that, because he's going to get ripped to bits one of the days. And then you get it brought up on a podcast.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
I think when we first got here, I thought I'd be checking for spiders and snakes all the time, and I think that lasted, I don't know, 3 hours. I haven't looked.
You still got to be careful. A good tip I got, Kerry, when we first got here, because the boys were young and they had like all these little plastic cars and toys and stuff that you used to leave outside. So the secret is supposed to be is you turn them upside down at night. So if he's got like a little 4-wheel car or something like that, flip it upside down at night. So in the morning when you do turn it upside down, so you go and play in it again, that you check spiders.
Okay.
I've been here 6 years, and I still check. Like sometimes, if I get up if I get up to go, if I get up to go to the toilet at night, I'll put my torch on my phone and just shine it in the toilet, make sure there's nothing in it.
I caught my husband. He came into bed, and the phone I saw went under the bed, and he checks. I didn't realise he checks under the bed every night for snakes and spiders. And I just haven't done that. I walk through grass. I don't give it a second thought.
Don't walk through grass. I don't walk through grass.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as what people make out, is it? Like when you're at home and I used to watch all these programmes like Australia, like the 20 most deadliest animals, and I mean, since we've been here, I think I've seen a few little redbacks, I've seen a few of them little bobtail lizards, and I think, in fact, I was putting the bin out about three months ago, and there were some leaves on the floor, and I picked them up, and I picked them up and shoved them in the bin, and then I went to pick up another handful, and it was a bloody bobtail lizard. I swear to God, I had a heart
I can only imagine how high you jumped.
I absolutely shit myself. And I got it in a bucket, and Karina had been walking the dog, and she come back, and I walked across the road with a bucket and showed it, and she wanted to move house. Honestly, Kerry, it was that big, a lizard that big. I mean, like back home, that's a pet shop. That wasn't. If that was that's no way. That's a bobtail. If it was 2.5 feet long, it was that. No, that's
that's an iguana. Mate.
No, but back home, like the pet shops, or people, like weird people, keep them as pets. Lizards and dragons and whatever.
I hope we've not got many listeners that keep like reptiles and stuff, mate, because we've just lost them. They're gone. They're never coming back. They're weird people now.
We don't
We've
want
lost
you.
them.
If you actually want an iguana as a pet, then you're not welcome on this show. Quite frankly,
my oldest boy wanted. What did they want? It was a bearded lizard. Isaac wanted a bearded lizard when he was a kid, and they also wanted a naked rat. If you've ever seen anything as ugly in your life, look up a naked rat. It is hideously ugly.
Do they look like Siamese cats, but even worse?
It's like somebody shaved a rat. And they're disgusting looking. He was honestly desperate for one. He never got it, but they're horrible. But yeah, I'd rather have that than a snake, though.
I've got a dog. A dog's enough. Do you have any pets, Kerry? Or did you have any pets when you were at home?
We had a cat, and my lovely best friend was taking him on, and he was going to be adopted by her because we actually went to a vet and he was too old to fly. But sadly, about 6 weeks before we flew, he had to be put down. They put him down, which was horrifically sad. But actually, I can't imagine being told that, 3 weeks after, and my best friend having to phone me. And yeah, it kind of worked out, I guess.
When we moved here, we had a little rabbit called Ben. And we weren't going to bring him to Australia because he's a bloody rabbit. Nice rabbit, but I made a phone call to how much is a rabbit to bring to Australia, and they said something like £4,000. So we thought we were going to have to do something. And when we sold the house, the people, a young couple that were buying the house, we did a deal with them. So they got the house, they got the rabbit free, and they were over the moon. It was like a deal, like clencher. They weren't sure about the house, but as soon as we mentioned the rabbit, we got full asking price and the rabbit as well. This is true. So we were worrying about the rabbit because we didn't want to. He had a nice garden, he had a lovely hutch, and he was happy where he was. We didn't really want to take him out of his surroundings. And about a week before we moved, I were at work and Karina phoned me up, crying her eyes out. Rabbit had died. He was only 2.
Did the house fall through?
No, the sale of the house went through. They weren't happy, but we had a little ceremony, a little bit of a funeral, a little cross. I put him in a shoebox, buried him. Really respectable kind of send-off it was.
That's nice, mate. You're kind-hearted soul, mate. That's nice, I like that. Did you tell the couple that you were leaving them in the garden?
I think we left the hutch. And they probably thought, we never heard from him again, but they were probably thinking, well, where's this damn rabbit? Where's this rabbit gone? Can't make it up. I've never told anyone that story before. I mean, it's not really worth telling. It's not exactly...
Well, it's on the podcast for everybody here for the rest of your life now, so it's always there.
Yeah.
What was the rabbit's name to get a proper send-off?
Ben Rogers.
Ben Rogers, the rabbit.
Ben Rogers. A nice name for a little rabbit. It was only a little boy.
So should we wrap up at that, do you think?
Yeah, I think we should.
It's a tragic story to finish on, to be honest.
It's a bit of a sad story to finish on, isn't it? We've had Kerrie on, who's gone through all this trauma. She's moved countries, and we've finished on talking about a dead rabbit.
Yeah, but Kerrie's got a 6-year-old that she needs to get up in the morning, and it's 11 o'clock at night. So,
right, Kerrie. Well, I think we'll let you go and let you get on with the rest of your evening. Finish your bottle of wine, maybe, or just collapse and go to bed. I don't know. Whatever your plans are now. Right.
Kerrie, it's been lovely speaking to you. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it has been really good. And if anyone wants to catch you on your blog or your YouTube channel, where do they go?
It's McCormack's on the Move, so that's on Instagram or YouTube.
Right, brilliant. Because I'm sure anyone that listens, they've got to actually go to that site now and check out your Instagram and your YouTube, or you're going to be in trouble.
Message me if you're doing the same. I'd love to hear from you because I love chatting to people in the same boat as me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay,
cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Kerrie.
Nice speaking to Kerrie.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed the show as much as we did, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Expats and Cats and hit that subscribe button.